Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the movie Obsession. Obsession is a new horror movie that was just recently released around last month or so. I saw it in the theaters yesterday with a friend of mine, so I'm going to talk to you about what I thought about the movie. I thought it was a pretty good movie. It's a scary movie. Basically what the movie is about is this fella named Bear. Now he likes this girl, right, named Nikki. But he doesn't know if he likes her back. He doesn't have the confidence to ask her out. He keeps, he's too scared, really. He's fumbling in the bag. And so eventually one day he goes to this shop and he was going to get her a new necklace because he dropped it down a drain. But he ends up finding this one thing called a One Wish Willow, which allows you to do and basically grant any wish you want. Just name it and it works. But you only get one wish. You cannot undo the wish. And you can't even do a second wish. So it's not like you can buy as many as you want. You can only ever buy one and make it work. If you buy multiple, they won't work. And he wishes that she loved him more than anybody else in the world. And this goes terribly, terribly wrong. She goes crazy because madly obsessed with him. She ends up killing all his friends. And we can see throughout the movie the real her, the real Nikki's fighting for control, fighting to, be back. Early on in the film, she's clearly trying to fight to get out. It keeps switching back and forth between the real Nikki and the one created by One Wish Willow. And in the end, everybody died. And not everybody. Basically, everybody died. Basically, really. Now let's talk about the movie exactly. Now, I really love the cinematography and the lighting of the film. The lighting work was really good and gave you a very ominous, scary part. It gave you a very ominous and scary feeling. And there were certain parts of the movie where you can't really see her in the darkness. Like, you're thinking to yourself, is that her? Is that really her? Is she there? But that adds to the scary factor. You'll be unsure if she's really there in the dark or if that's just your imagination. And there's one scene in the film where he finds his dead cat, which somehow got into his grandma's medication. Somehow, I don't know how the cat does that. When he took that cat and made a shrine out of it. And due to the way the camera is seeing the shot, you can kind of see her walking by in the background right before she comes out. And you're like, well, was that her? I just see her, And, of course, you don't initially see what he saw, what it is, but he's paying out to say, oh, God, But the lighting is really good. It kind of reminds me of Halloween in certain shots, like when Winona Myers is standing outside of the house where the film ends at, just kind of standing there ominously. I like, so the lighting is really good. It gives this sort of tense feeling of you're not sure if they're really there or not, you being scared of what could possibly be in the dark, that is, there is something in the dark. Now Bear, he's not really meant to be a likable person. What he does is meant to be pretty bad. The movie goes along pretty fast. Now the movie gets along pretty fast. It gets going pretty quickly. But even though it gets going pretty quickly, you understand what's going on pretty easily, and you're easily able to understand what the characters are, what they're like, and what they're going through pretty quickly. So so the movie doesn't really ponder on things on like the setup for too long. The setup is clearly put up. You get a clear understanding of Bear, who he is, what he wants, and what he's dealing with right now, and kind of what his friends are like, very quickly, very clearly, despite it being a fairly short introduction. So then we could get going along pretty well, and everything's at a pretty good pace. It goes along pretty well. I thought the movie would actually be a lot shorter than it really was, because of the way you felt like we go along pretty well. And the pacing was good pacing. The only really downside of it I had was during one scene in particular where the dummy prop was kind of obvious, that the fake dead body was kind of like not the best quality, really, It didn't look exactly the best. It was mad dead body quality. But that's like one scene in the movie, and it was a pretty low budget, so it would have been pretty hard to make a realistic looking fake dead body. Yeah. But the acting was pretty good, and there were some pretty tense scenes in the movie. It does rely a little bit too much on like scary music, very high, very, very loud, scary music, It relies on that a little bit too much throughout the film to give tension. Sometimes certain scenes be with silence, I think certain scenes could have been done better with like silence, or at least just like ambient noise of their surroundings. But certain scenes just had a little bit too. Sometimes just overuse like the tension music, the loud tension, scary music a little bit too much throughout the film. I could have done a few scenes about it. It kind of hurt my ears a little bit, and it kind of made things. It kind of got annoying a little bit. Like the amount of like loud, scary music they're using to build up tension throughout the film. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. So besides the a little bit excessive usage of the loud, tense music and the meh, kind of not really good looking, fake dead body. It was overall a pretty good film. I'd watch it again. I liked it. I liked it a lot. You really got to see. You really got to see how the camaraderie between these three friends. It makes it all worse. It all just came crashing, crumbling down because there's one idiot's decision because he kept fumbling the bag and decided to cheat and play dirty. And it makes it even sadder because one of the main characters, the one who's fake body, is kind of like not very realistic looking. Because you're very clearly touch that fake body. They got accepted to the college that they wanted to get into. And the whole throughout the movie, kind of a recurring thing was that they had been applying to all of these art colleges, but kept getting rejected, and they went up to the last one. And they died before they could up the last one, and she got into it. So that was kind of pretty sad, And I guess it goes even more onto the whole thing of, this guy messed everything up, he ruined it for everybody. And in the end, he dies, that girl dies, the other friend dies, and Nikki is returned back to normal because the wish only ends when you die. So since Bear died, Nikki's returns to normal, and she starts crying, screaming, and shit, she kind of like started doing it under the wish Willow persona, but when she clocked back to normal, it was like screaming, most likely like horror of, oh my god, what did I do? Terrible screaming, scary really. And you really feel bad for her. You really do. She's the real victim in the movie, really. Because think about it. She's definitely gonna go to the jail for this one. There's no way she's getting out of that one, not going to jail. Because no jury in the world would not convict her. Because you would have to get a jury to believe that, first of all, magic is real, and this novelty toy item actually has magical capabilities that make wishes come true. I guess it would be hard to prove that the one wish really works. Just wish for something like $1 billion, because what Bear's friend does, he wishes for $1 billion, and $1 billion just falls out of the sky. It comes so it doesn't. So it works pretty. So it works pretty literally. You say you want $1 billion, $1 billion just appears in the room. Just like that. So I guess, but still, that'd be hard. It'd be hard to get a court to do that, to actually get out of one wish will, test it out and see, and it'd be a really hard defense, and she might just say she did it, and it'd be a hard one to defend, really, so she's probably going to prison for that one for life. They'd probably get her, they'd get her on the first two. They might not be able to get him on Bear, because he did kill himself. He downed a bunch of his grandma's pills, the same pills that the cat took at the very beginning in the movie, which got him killed. Chekhov's pill, I guess. But overall, it's a pretty good movie. 9.5 out of 10. I would watch again. I hope you all watch it in theaters. Something about the theater that's none compared to the TV, Well, I'll see you all around sometime soon. So, bye. Have a nice time.